What's up guys, Raymond here, also known as Rayvision, and check it out today. Well, we are going to be playing some Forza 5 goodness. We're going for another Nurburgring lap time. This time we're going to be taking on the Nissan GTR Black Edition, and we're doing this in Rivals as usual. I prefer just doing it in Rivals, and there's some interesting things you guys might want to know about the GTR. Number one thing I noticed immediately, because I drive interior view, it is a right-hand drive car, which kind of proved an issue for me because, well, let's just say I drive all of my cars interior view, and let's just say driving right-hand drive did mess me up quite a bit. I did do a warm-up lap. I don't usually do that, but that was mainly to get used to the factor that it was an opposite-hand drive car. It wasn't really get as much used to how the car drives. So how does the Nissan GTR drive? Well, it is pretty good. The brakes are really good. They're quick and responsive. You don't have to push them in too far to get some good braking. Like some brakes, like the MP4 I've been driving recently in career, to get that car to brake, you really have to push it in deep, and then it'll lock only if you push it in all the way. This one you just touch, and it won't lock right away, but it'll give you good braking easily. You don't have to feather it all the way down to the bottom. And so it's pretty awesome. It does have spectacular corner exits. That's one great thing I have to say about that car. When you come out of a corner, you can floor it and not worry about spinning out because it is a four-wheel drive, and that will just because it's a Nissan GTR Black Edition, it will just accelerate like nobody's business. Like right here on this straight, I'm doing like 175. Look at this. So it is a very tricky car. Well, it's not that tricky, it's just right-hand drive. I just don't know what the big problem is with that. I just can't do right-hand drive. It's just not working. Or else what has been happening, just watched today's episode of RVB, and it was pretty awesome. A lot of plot developed and a lot of stuff was explained, so that it makes sense, and it makes sense now, so that is awesome. Oh, look at these guys. They are slowing down big time. Right here we go. That was a beautiful mess up on my behalf. I did that one beautifully, and I think that's the only time I went off track during the lap. It does happen. I don't pretend to be an expert on the Nurburgring. I think I'm like just above 1,000 for lap times. Hopefully I'll get like right now my lap time on the Nurburgring, my fastest lap time in an A class is around 7:24, and so I'm gonna aim to probably get a 7:20 sooner or later. I'll take the time to do that eventually. If you guys are interested in seeing that, tell me in the comments, or else I'm just gonna do it, and that will be that. Interesting thing, I have a question for you guys, which is always important. You recently requested the GTR. I have delivered. What is your next request for a Nurburgring lap time? And also, I have an Excel sheet on which I'm not only adding the Nurburgring lap times, I'm also going to add the stock drift car scores. So all the Nurburgring lap times are going to be on the Nurburgring, and all the stock car drift scores, well, those are going to be on Prague. And so I've got a sheet right now. We only have 4 cars. We got the GT500, the Aston Martin, the Audi, and the Nissan. And the Nissan's a high A class. It's a lot higher A class. No, actually, it's a lower A class than the Audi R8 V10. Actually, I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Whatever, they're close. They're not. It's not a huge gap. Nissan did surprisingly a lot better than the R8 V10, and the R8 V10 was a 7:59 or 7:58, which was our previous best time for stock A class. Not that we have a lot of times. And then we have the Aston Martin, which is in the 8-minute mark, which is not that great. Really, the reason why the GTR makes this time up a lot on straight. The problem is at speed, it has difficulty making those turns. Like those turns, I can take flat out in basically almost any car, but it accelerates so quickly and it gets to such high speed that you have to slow down for them, but you're still going faster than most cars around those corners. But on the same time, other cars don't have to slow down. It's here and there, but on the same time, like other cars, when they hit their top speeds, you don't have to worry about those corners. It's just how the car is made. It's not as friendly to the corners as, per se, an F50, which is absolutely amazing in the corners. I love that car in the corners. It's just like, okay, you want to take this corner all out? No problem. I'm not even going to worry about it. So yeah, that's what has been happening. Still psyched up from last week's episode of Ruby. Can't wait for that to happen. Interesting news happened. If you guys know, I watched this show. It's called Legend of Korra. I'm a fan of the Avatar, Last Airbender, and yada yada. It got moved. Well, I got removed from TV and it got moved to Xbox Live. So I'm going to be watching on Xbox Live. Kind of sad of that because their viewership has been dropping a lot, and that's why they decided to move it. But the episodes are still going to release, so I'm happy about that at least. And just let's just hope it keeps going all the way. Trickiest part of the Nurburgring track for me in the Nissan has to be the last straight. On my test lap with the car, because I did it one lap before to get used to the right hand driving, which is really messes with me because I'm used to taking the line on the left, and I can't do that because I have, well, a car sticking on the left now and nothing sticking on the right. So it definitely screws me and what I'm used to. So, well, what is happening? Well, the toughest part with the GTR is the straight, because you have to slow down before the final turn in the Nurburgring, and coming out of that straight in this car is very difficult. At high speed, this car is so easy to snap. I'm not kidding. Like, a lot of cars at high speeds are either more stable or drift happy, or some of them just snap. And this is one of those cars that just wants to snap, and it does so very well. But if you look at it going around these corners, it is very smooth, it is very slick, and I'm not going too sideways on it, and that's because I'm not being too aggressive on the throttle. I'm just giving it what it needs to complete the corners, hit a bit the apex there, but I'm not pushing it, well, when I do these laps, I don't go, drive all out, because if I were to drive all out, there's either two things that's going to happen. One, I get an amazing lap time, which is 1 out of like 100 attempts. 2, I crash horribly and it just ruins my whole entire lap. Like, I get like a 10-minute lap, which is what will happen almost all the time. And then every once in a while I'll get a really good lap. So that's why I'm not driving uber aggressive, but I'm still putting a lot of aggressive activity here. So we're coming on the final turn right now onto the straight, and just watch this. Once I hit the straight, I'm not even on the straight. So 90 kilometers an hour, when I put my foot down, the car just takes off. That's the great thing about the GTR. It's just got so much power to give. Look at that. Acceleration is just beautiful. And at this point, everything's just a blur, and there's nothing else to worry about. The GTR is just blasting through this at full speed. And wait until that corner. You guys are going to see I'm going to have some difficulty with it, and it's definitely going to prove problematic. So, this slight bend here, I've never had to brake for it in any car except this one. And look at it. I hit the apex a bit, and I almost went off track there. And then I brake here, and look at this. If you brake and try and turn this car, and I didn't even lock my brakes, it will land you extremely sideways. And it will definitely affect your time in a very bad manner. But the time for the GTR is going to be a 7:48 as usual. I want to thank you all for watching in the comments below. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.